important. A lot of people are telling me that it was a whitewash. I'm going to save my review of that for later. But what we have here is something completely different, done by Investigation Discovery. And if you check the live chat, I've now put a link to this video in full that you can watch for free from their own website for you to watch and decide, because it hasn't gone super deep yet. Okay, it hasn't gone super deep yet. But I got to tell you, I have hopes for this series a lot more than I did for the Netflix one. And before we get started, I want to remind everybody that we're using technology to empower humanity and not enslave it. And that's why we're still using YouTube as a platform. You know, we're 40 seconds deep. It's telling me that there's 0 people watching out of my 54,000 subscribers. It's not an unlimited or unlisted video. So again, I need your support more than ever. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. Since I can't seem to register my vehicle, called again today. Had the guy who's working on my car, who has a dealership, try to get in touch. It's the craziest thing in New York State right now. But I can't even register a car. So need your support more than ever. I'm thinking about doing 24 videos in 24 hours on June 1st. I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe it's going to be June 2nd. But, you know, flick off. You requested it. That's going to be for you. We're going to have a ton of guests like we did before when we did the 24 vids in 24 hours. And hopefully we'll make this one even better than the last one. So let's just dive right into it. The Investigation Discovery piece kicks off with a pretty good montage, and it also includes Maria Farmer, okay? And the Maria Farmer information seems like it's going to make its way through as Ashley Banfield, and I can't remember who the other journalists that they keep going to are kind of like the journalist narrators in this, you know, almost cinema verita type documentary. And they talk about the blackmail ring, like right off the bat, saying that he had things on powerful people. So I would doubt that they're not going to go with the intelligence angle. Why? Well, first of all, they question Bill Barr, okay? And anybody who's watched my channel knows that we've done the Bill Barr Deep State Deep Dive. And they even go as far as to say that there is the possibility that it was Barr's father that hired Epstein, right, at the Dalton School. Now, that's been disputed. It's never been proven. But we know that Barr is a career CIA guy and a lawyer, a.k.a. a liar. That's what you are when you go into law and you actually work for a firm that defended Jeffrey Epstein. Did anybody not know that he worked for one of the firms that was defending Epstein, and that was his excuse for having to recuse himself? You know, he's like, look at the legalities. We were covering this long before, you know, Epstein got arrested last summer, and I mean, I've been covering this for well over a decade. So off the bat, I think that this documentary series is going to be much more revealing and ask a lot more tough questions than that Netflix one ever could. Now, again, I have not seen the Netflix one, but maybe you have, okay? So this Investigation Discovery piece, let's just bounce through some of it. We're not going to play any of the audio. Let's make sure that's off there. We're not going to actually play it. But, you know, they get into, you know, his relationship to Trump, to Clinton. Yes, it is Ashley Banfield, and we're going to get into her in a second. But it also gets into the fact that he came up through Towers Capital. It has Steve Hoffenberg in here pretty heavily. And if you don't know, Hoffenberg did prison time for a Ponzi scheme that was set up by Epstein. But Epstein didn't do any time. Forget about John Gotti, the Teflon Don, right? Epstein just seemed to get away with everything. And if you think that's crazy, not only did Hoffenberg do prison time, but then when he got out of prison, the board members rehired him at Towers Capital because they knew he'd been set up. Oh, man. So By the way, if you're looking for the link to this, guys, it's all the way at the top in the live chat, okay? So here's Banfield, and let me just talk about Ashley Banfield for a second, okay? Ashley Banfield was on the ground during 9/11. She was like a local reporter for upstate New York, at least for a time, and then I remember her being on the ground because I saw so many of these clips. In fact, I think she's in Loose Change Final Cut because she, witnessed, you could hear some of these secondary explosions behind her, and that she actually commented on them. So Banfield's never really been pushed fully as the next big personality, and she's actually had some journalistic integrity, okay? Also gives me hope for this. Now, they also have Epstein's lawyer in here, right? Oh, let's get rid of that. Of course, the ads. You got to love it. They have Epstein's lawyer in here, and Epstein's lawyer says, look, I'm not into conspiracy theories, but I don't think he killed himself. Now, on top of that, they keep going to his companion. They call his suicide watch companion. It's this guy right here who's doing the rounds that says, listen, he definitely killed himself. He wasn't depressed, but he definitely killed himself. I don't know about this guy. I don't know about anybody who wasn't there or couldn't tell me why the cameras didn't work, right? The guards weren't there, that this was allowed to happen a second time, that Epstein told his brother, they haven't gotten into his brother yet, that he was assaulted by Tartiglione. But for those that don't know, Tartiglione is the first cellmate that says he actually saved Epstein's life. And this is a guy accused of quadruple murder in a crooked drug deal who was an ex-cop. So investigation discovery piece. The other thing is, they went with Jane Doe number 3. Okay, and they focused in on Jane Doe number 3 and her experiences there. But again, the vast amount of interviews, the ability to ask the question about the blackmail ring leads me to believe, and questioning Barr as well, leads me to believe that when we get to Acosta and the actual deal that was made, there's going to be some kind of journalistic integrity in this. We'll see how far it goes. But I'm going to do a full review on the Netflix series after I see it. This is only part 1. I'm going to put it in there in the live chat one more time for you guys. Right there. Boom. Thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share. Later on today, I'm also, and by the way, I fully recommend it. I think everybody should definitely go check it out. But just so everybody knows, later on today, I'm going to do a video on Chris Rock and Rosie Perez at Cuomo's briefing yesterday. This was some of the worst stuff that I've seen in a while, and I'm just going to give you the cliff notes. Number one, they're in the gloves, they're in the masks, it's a photo op. They're telling people to listen to Cuomo, that he's, bringing good things. Meanwhile, Cuomo's not opening up New York, and he just signed an executive order saying that now a business, because people were challenging whether or not they actually had to wear the mask in a Walmart, even though they said it was mandatory. Now he's saying, yes, executive order. If the business owners want it to be mandatory, it's mandatory. In other words, you could get arrested for trespass if you're not wearing a mask. So he criminalized that yesterday. But, Chris Rock makes this joke, and I'm going to show the video of it, but Cuomo thinks it's hilarious. And so much so that after they do their little photo op, after they bump their elbows like that's any less than shaking hands, it makes me ill. Makes me ill. You better shake my hand. It's got to be seen to be believed. So tune in later. We're going to get to that. This special, again, I want to reiterate because I keep seeing it in there. This is not the Netflix special. Okay, it's not the Netflix special at all. And this is the cellmate guy. This is not the Netflix special. She's asking a lot of good questions. This is the investigation discovery. Anybody can watch it. You don't need a subscription. I just put the link in there. Make sure to go check this out. I think this one's going to ask a lot more questions than Netflix, but I haven't seen the Netflix one yet. Okay. So, guys, I want to remind you, fully demonetized on the platform. Thumbs this up, subscribe, share. If you can, $5, $10, $15 means the world to me. Only a couple more days left. We're really going to try to slam through several videos today. Like I said, we're going to do the Cuomo, Chris Rock, Rosie Perez, because it's not that funny. It's kind of upsetting that I had to watch that. It was turning my stomach, but that's another big video. Remember, my documentary films, they're all free right here, right now. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture are available right now. All right? Make sure you're subbed. And then I got the Rockfin. And yesterday, exclusively, we put up an hour-long throwback interview with Jim Mars. So that's definitely something you should be checking out. Guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side.